successful state. Now, some people will come on and tell you we won't be viable. But my point is, these are subsidiary issues. The leadership question will be determined by the people. That's the essence of democracy.
Sorry, so Hotazar, I think you're going to come in on that.
There is a system already in the Sikhs.
That's what I want to know. Is there a system already in the Sikhs?
Sarbat Khalsa was called every year twice, in November and in Baisakhi. And that Sarbat Khalsa in 1986 made a declaration at the Akal Takht that the Sikh nation wants their own homeland. And I remember some of the government representative coming here and he says, how can we solve this problem? And we said that why don't you call the Sarbat Khalsa again? Right? And let them decide. And why is the Indian government so frightened to recall it? Because they know the answer.
Sarbat Khalsa meaning, just explain to us.
The Sikhs gathering at Harmandir Sahib.
Right.
So the systems are there. It's the way the Indian government is portraying the Sikhs. Sant Jarnail Singh was a saint, but he was portrayed as a terrorist. Why? Because
was he a saint with a gun?
No, he didn't.
He wore a pistol. He had a holder.
So why?
Is that the way?
Yeah,
is that the way?
Guru.
So he was a Sant Sipahi then.
Yeah,
he was a Sipahi,
which is the Guru.
Yeah, he was Sipahi. Guru had it. Guru Gobind Singh had pistols. Guru Tegh Bahadur had kirpans. So
I'm just thinking from maybe people looking from outward and thinking,
he was a saint, a soldier, and a Singh.
That's right.
And a Mahapurusha as well, because what he done for the Sikhs.
So what I'm saying is that it's the Indian government is the culprit in this, and they are not allowing the Sikh nation, the Punjabis, they are not allowing them to succeed. And, it doesn't happen overnight. If you look at all the Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he ruled for 50 years. But then the British took over. They ruled for 99 years. And then the Indian government took over, or the Indians became free. They've only ruled for 60 years, and look what's happening. Nagas are fighting, Assamese are fighting, Kashmiris are fighting. Why? Because nobody wants to be. It was a united. It was a united India. Punjab was a Sikh state, and so on the others. And now they're calling it, making it into an Indian nation. There is no such thing as an Indian nation. There are other nations in India who have not been given the rights to promote their nations, and that is where the problem is.
Okay, thank you very much. Eventually, my thanks to everybody. But in a couple of words, if you could just say, what do we want people of the world to remember about 84? In Pyara Singh, if you say it first, then we'll move it on.
Not to forget it. We cannot forget it. It was a genocide, so let's make sure that everybody knows about it, especially our kids who were born after that incident, and make sure we are telling them what has actually happened to Sikhs in 1994.
But, Ranjit Singh, what's the message for the world? Maybe not just for Sikhs, but for the world.
For the world, the message is that 1984 constituted a Holocaust for the Sikhs. It was an organised genocide which has carried on subsequently. What we are looking for from the international community is recognition of that fact. And because the Indian judicial system has refused now for 25 years to punish the guilty, we're looking for an international tribunal. We are campaigning for an international criminal court to deal with those atrocities, along the lines of the criminal court dealing with the former Yugoslavia and with Darfur. There are precedents for the international action, and we are campaigning for that. That is the core message to the international community, to set up a tribunal, punish the guilty, and bring redress to the victims.
Omkar, what would be for you of 84?
I think the number one thing that everybody needs to remember is the teachings of Sant Jarnail Singh Khalsa and also the sacrifices made by the Gursikhs, and we need to never forget 1984 and make sure that we spread that awareness to other religions, to people who don't know about it, even to ourselves, to our own families, and we need to think about whether we're going to stay in India or not.
1984, the Operation Blue Star was a criminal act, an atrocious attack by a government on a race of people who were innocent and certainly didn't deserve that attack, and that's what the world needs to know and needs to act upon.
So, do you want to say?
Yeah, well, I think I agree with everyone here that it should never be forgotten, and we should do the best that we can, those of us that know, to educate everyone else. And books are written, articles are published, all these things. I think in the long run, in the bigger picture, people will look back and recognise it, and I think it's just a matter of continuing fighting for that cause, and we shouldn't give up until every avenue has been exhausted.
Okay, thank you for that. That's obviously come from a young man who wasn't even born when the events of 84 took. So Hoja Sahab, just in a few words.
I think it's very important not to forget 1984, not just 1984, the massacre which happened in Delhi, 1978, all the way from then to now. The Sikhs have sacrificed so much. We have lost our kids, our brothers, our sisters, and we are not going to forget about it. And I think it's very important for the people who are living in free country to put their views forward very strongly, because one thing we can do is show our anger, show our respect to the people who has sacrificed themselves. And for that, 7th of June in Hyde Park, we are having this demonstration, and we will urge everybody to come and join us, and let's fight our fight together. Thank you.
Okay. I think on that note, my thanks to the panel. Thank you very much to everybody who's attended. Obviously, we tried to give as a wider view, as a balanced view as we could upon the events of 84. Emails were sent out to all organisations who wanted to come and represent themselves. So thank you very much to everybody who's come up. But for me, I think 1984 represents our respect, our love with the families who lost the young ones, the elders, Mama de Potni kar aaye, kaise da pe nahi kar aaye, whatever. Our respects to all the shaheeds who lost their lives during the time of 84. Thank you for tuning in. This is one of special. Sikh channel is free and it's here to serve you.